The Lurking Shadows, Chronicles of the Crypt. The rain fell in heavy sheets as Martin Caldwell drove his rusting sedan through the desolate countryside. The night was suffocating, an oppressive blanket of darkness pressing against the world. His GPS flickered, then died, leaving him alone on the winding road with only the whispering wind and the creaking trees for company. He had been traveling for hours, searching for a historical crypt hidden deep in the woods. A supposed relic of the 18th century, it had been the resting place of an aristocratic family that had vanished under mysterious circumstances. His publisher wanted a chilling article for the magazine's Halloween issue, and Martin, skeptic and rationalist, was more than happy to expose another local legend as a baseless myth. After what felt like an eternity, his headlights caught a wrought iron gate, rusted and bent out of shape. Behind it, the gaping maw of an ancient crypt loomed in the darkness, partially buried beneath vines and debris. He parked the car and grabbed his flashlight, its beam weak against the consuming blackness. The crypt's entrance was a heavy stone slab, slightly ajar. Martin hesitated, but the promise of a good story overpowered his unease. Pushing the door open, he stepped inside. The air was thick, laced with decay and something else, something metallic. He swept the flashlight around. The chamber was small, lined with stone coffins covered in dust and cobwebs. But what drew his attention was the writing on the walls, Latin inscriptions, carved deep into the stone. He snapped a few photos, then noticed something odd. The dust on the floor had been disturbed, as if something, had been moving recently. A sound echoed from deeper within. A shuffle, like feet dragging. Martin's breath hitched. His mind rationalized, an animal, maybe? A draft? He pressed forward. Then he saw it. At the end of the chamber, a coffin had been violently forced open, the lid shattered in two. Inside, the skeletal remains were wrong. The bones were twisted, elongated, unnatural. And in its ribcage, impossibly wedged between brittle bones, was a heart. A fresh, pulsating heart, beating as though it had only just been removed. A shadow moved. Martin whirled around, his flashlight flickering. The air turned thick, and a whispering sound filled his ears, a voice, layered with many others. He took our hearts. He walks again. His throat dried. He staggered backward, knocking over an urn that shattered against the stone floor. The whispering grew louder. Then, from the darkness beyond, it emerged. A figure, tall and impossibly thin, its skin stretched tight over its bones. Its eyes, deep black voids, fixed on Martin with unnatural hunger. And in its claw-like hands, something wet, something beating. His flashlight failed. The last thing he heard before the darkness swallowed him was the sound of his own heart, ripped from his chest, still beating in the monster's grasp. If you liked it, please leave a like and/or subscribe. Thank you.